Coping with death and grief is one of the most painful human experiences, yet we often overlook its impact on our physical bodies. Dr. Mary Frances O'Connor specializes in the study of grief, and in the Grieving Body, she shares vital scientific research revealing imperative new insights. So joining us live with some of those insights on her book, we have Dr. O'Connor. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's really lovely to be here.
So this book, I mean, when you first hear the title, it could be a little daunting, The Grieving Body. What made you first decide to write something like this?
I've been doing grief research in academia for over 25 years, and it really finally dawned on me that the scientific information that we know about what happens to us when a loved one dies isn't really getting into the hands of people who could use it. And so writing this book was a way for me to convey what we know about the physiological and sometimes even medical experience we have in grieving and share some of the stories of people that I know and myself in going through grief.
Incredible. And what's interesting too is your first book was The Grieving Brain, which I imagine first maybe covered what people would think of when they think of grief, but the physical body, what are some things that people will find in this book?
Grief is just our natural response to loss. But many people aren't aware that it isn't only sadness, it isn't only emotions and thoughts, but we know from research that there is a physiological response as well. One of the reasons we know that is that you can truly die of a broken heart. So one research study shows us that a person is 21 times more likely to die on the day that a loved one dies than any other day of their life, which is just an insane statistic. And of course, the risk drops off after that. But what we know is that the body is involved. Research in my own lab shows that heart rate goes up a little bit, blood pressure goes up a little bit. And although those normalize over time, it's the time when we have to be aware of our physical health as we go through this emotional process.
Yes, and maybe showing a little bit extra grace to yourself, because not only are you taking care of that mental part, but also that physical part, quite literally. I mean, it's just fascinating. So what are you hoping then when people are reading this book, what are you hoping they're going to take away?
Well, I think remembering that this is a time to take care of your body because your body is trying to help your mind to adapt to this strange new world you're walking around in where your loved one isn't there. And so what I mean by that is often when we've been caring for a loved one who's died, we've neglected our own health care, which is understandable, but now is the time to get your annual checkup, to get your teeth cleaned, to do your mammogram, right? And for those of us who may be supporting someone who's grieving, to help them remember at a moment when they're not feeling very motivated to do anything and they're having trouble remembering to do things, feeling that brain fog. Now is the time to support their grieving body as they go through this process.
Yeah. And what I love the most probably about what inspired you is that you found all this research but didn't feel like people had it. And there's so much power to having that knowledge when you're going through something like this.
This is the thing. Grief is universal, but it's not something we talk about a lot. And so people don't know what the experience is going to be like. That it is very common for people to have a lot of difficulty sleeping or have no appetite or feel that they have a lump in their throat or they have pains in their chest. Knowing the difference, though, between this normal physiological response as we come to understand this new world we're in versus when the body gets kind of outside the bounds of what is normal human functioning. So seeing when people are having more bronchitis, more pneumonia, or where people are at risk for stroke or heart attack, finding that balance of caring for ourselves and finding ways to soothe and comfort the body as we go through the process.
Yeah, that's beautiful. A beautiful mission. Well, thank you so much, Dr. O'Connor, for joining us today and for sharing a little bit about this book. And of course, there is just a wealth of information in here. The Grieving Body, you can purchase it wherever you purchase books. And of course, you can learn more at kstk.com/show.